Hey, I'm Doug Jones from Hellboy 1 and 2, and you are tuned in to the Jackals Head on PSN Radio.
All right, we're live with Franklin E. Wales, the author of Deadhead's Evolution and many other books. Franklin, welcome to the Jackals Head here on YouTube. Welcome, sir.
Well, thank you, Jackal. It's good to be here.
It's an incredible honor having you on this show. I've had you, of course, on the radio before, but for our listeners who have never heard your story before, tell us about some of your books and how you became involved with writing on Deadhead's Evolution.
Well, I've been a writer since I was a kid. I've published 5 novels so far today. My first one was called Booger. Let's see if I can work this video camera. It was Booger.
Booger.
Which is a Booger. Yes, just like that. It's a grown-up boogeyman story. My second novel was Game Master, which is more of a psychological thriller. Followed that with Friend, which is a pure demon story. Demon come to flesh. Got kind of a kid's cover on it, but it's anything but a kid's book. This Christmas I released Purgatory Junction, my first Western, which was dedicated to my dad. And then the one that everybody keeps asking about, the one I've just released, is Deadhead's Evolution, which does feature inside art, if I can find some quickly. Of course I won't. It has illustrations. Yeah, there we go. It has illustrations by Joseph Jody Adams. Deadheads is my zombie epic. It takes place after the dirty bombs have fallen on the earth and created a virus that allows the recently dead to get up and, you know, this typical zombie stuff, chew the living.
What was it about the zombie genre that interested you in writing a novel like Deadheads?
Oh, I've loved zombie movies since Night of the Living Dead, all the Romero pictures, the Italian pictures. And I wrote this as a script, as a movie script for a company that went out of business before they could produce it. And my wife Jackie said, you know, there's rumors Brad Pitt's going to do a zombie movie. Maybe you should take your book out and take your script out and make it a book. So because of her, it's a book. I heard your show when you interviewed a friend of mine, Dennis Reno, and I tuned in from time to time. And then you actually had me as a guest, and I've always kind of liked your vibe. So for any of your fans out there, Angel appears in Deadhead's Evolution on pages 13 through 17.
This is true. I am part of the book itself, which is a great honor, and I want to thank you, deeply for inserting me in the book. And I've read the book. It is a cult classic. I mean, this is an instant cult classic. It's a great novel. Now, I know the first company that was trying to produce it into a feature film, went out of business. Is there any plans for you to try to get this turned into a feature film? Because zombies are hot. I mean, zombies are really hot. Not only The Walking Dead, but the whole genre is really hot right now.
Well, I would love to, and I do have the original script. The story changed some for the better, so I would have to revise the original script itself. I am always looking to work within the movie genre. I love the movies, but I can play all the parts when I write the book. I have heard that there is a guy south of me who's actually considering pitching to a few people along the way, so we'll see. Whatever comes, comes.
That's cool. And it's funny that you mentioned Brad Pitt. The first thing I told you when you asked me if I could be in the book is if you make a movie out of it, either I play myself or Brad Pitt. So it's kind of funny you brought him up earlier.
Oh, and now that this is YouTube, I mean, we can all see. I've never seen you and Brad Pitt in the room at the same time, and now I know why.
Yeah. So he's either my clone or I'm him. One or the other.
Him.
So what's next coming up for you, Franklin? What do you have coming up in 2012? Now that we just got started with this year?
Well, actually, Deadheads, just for kicks, it was self-released, and we released it about 12 minutes after midnight, so it may very well be the first horror book released in 2012. After this, I think my next step, I've been working with another author. His name is Eric S. Brown. His current book is called The Pack of Wolves. Eric writes a lot of genre horror, and he's put together an anthology of horror westerns. He liked my western, so he asked me to be in it, and I did a werewolf western story, which was a whole lot of fun. So Eric actually has a werewolf western character in some of his novels. We're going to get together and see if we can hammer out kind of co-author something in the horror genre, but it's going to be a western as well. They're going to be Werewolf Gunslingers.
Nice.
Sounds like fun to me.
It sounds like a good time.
I have a contemporary werewolf novel that's floating around the publishing houses. I'm looking for a bite on that and see if I can get a major mainstream release with it. And I think I'm going to take a little downtime, and if my werewolf western thing works, I have a little 6-part series I might work on that. If Deadheads catches, as you know, the book opens technically in book 2, like, remember Missing in Action with Chuck Norris?
Mm-hmm.
It was Missing in Action 3, and then there was the prequel. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do, this would be Deadheads 2 technically, and if there's a sequel, it'll be 3, and then the 3rd edition will be the prequel, Deadhead, the beginning.
Interesting. So it's kind of like a George Lucas type of way of working.
Yeah.
Do the sequels first and the prequels later. That's awesome. That's awesome. You know, you got that Kiss shirt on. You ever thought of incorporating Kiss into one of your zombie movies? I'd love to see a zombie eat Kiss, or one of the members.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Gene Simmons on TV? I wouldn't put the word Kiss in it. I love the band. I think he looks for lawsuits and a way to claim it was mine. I wrote that book first. Yep. Yeah. Okay.
That's awesome. Franklin, what's your favorite genre, though? I mean, of all the books you've written, like, what's the favorite genre that you have right now from any genre? Horror, you know, comedy?
I'm a big horror fan.
Horror fan?
I've got enough DVDs in my office that I could have bought a new car. Probably should have, because most of them are not worth anything, you know, because now everything's in Blu-ray. But I'm a big horror fan. I like the fact that life is scary enough as it is, and you know, for some people, just making the rent check next month is good. And if I can take a reader and make them forget for 20 minutes while they're reading about their real life problems because I told them a spooky story, I think that's what it works for.
One thing I liked about it was it had a good mixture of horror and comedy, and a little bit of comedy in there. But, you know, are you looking to continue that, the mixture of comedy with some of the horror stuff that you're doing?
I liked it. I like doing that because the Gage character, the lead, he's a lot like an Eastwood character in movies. You know, he's got a couple of one-liners and he's dry. And I love those movies. I love the old Eastwood movies. I love the one-line dry responses. So it was fun to write, and so far it's received some really good positive reviews. I've got 2 on Amazon already, and the book's only been out for a few days, and they're both 5 stars, mind you.
Now, let me ask you another question, Franklin, real quick. Are you going to be doing any promotional tours at conventions or anything like that to promote any of the books?
Anytime something comes to South Florida that I can get myself a table at, I'm there, because there's absolutely nothing more fun than being there, meeting the people that are going to read your book. I always put my email in the back of every book. So if you buy a book from me and you don't like it, write me an email and cuss me out. You need a chance. I haven't gotten a bad one. I've gotten quite a few nice, you know, fan letters, people written that say that they enjoyed it and this, that, or the other. But I will sign books at McDonald's if they'll have me. Any place anybody wants to see me, I'm there.
So we can definitely expect the Franklin E. Wales Marathon to get into the book convention sometime in the near future.
Absolutely, especially here in South Florida.
That'd be great. Now, working out of South Florida, speaking of South Florida, how is it being a writer of horror novels in South Florida? Is it tough to get something published and released here in South Florida, or being based out of South Florida?
No, not really. I'm actually from Conway, New Hampshire, which is a few hours away from Stephen King land.
Yes.
And that area is pretty much taken. I mean, King, he owns New England. Let's face it, my werewolf book is set in New England, so I'm challenging. But I don't think it matters. In today's world, it doesn't matter where you write from as long as you write good.
Now, do you like writing more contemporary stuff, or do you like writing stuff that is period piece, like set in the past?
Well, I like Westerns. My dad taught me to like Westerns, and I like the Italian Westerns, so they're fun to do because I'm familiar with the world, but I don't want to do a Renaissance piece. I don't want to do something set in the 40s. I want a world where there's a Walmart and a Burger King down the street in my stories, you know.
So contemporary. Franklin E. Wales is contemporary.
By preference, other than the Western, but yeah.
That's awesome. Franklin, we're almost out of time. Thank you for taking part of the show here on the Jackals Head on YouTube. And, you know, I look forward to getting the book on my hands. I ordered a copy off of Amazon. I urge everybody to do that. Is there a place that, you know, besides Amazon, is there another website you want to promote that people can find you?
My website is franklinewales.com. I have a blog there. I sell all my books signed. Deadheads isn't up there yet because I haven't sent the information to the webmaster, so it's not his fault. I get the typical gear, the coffee cups, the T-shirts, the other yada yada. It also has a history on me and a contact. If you want to get a hold of me, you can find me on Facebook. I'm anywhere. You can pretty much Google me and find me somewhere. And you know what? I'm going to wind up doing a show on the PSN radio on the audio version.
I was going to say that. I was going to ask you about that. I was going to ask you, do you have anything in the radio land coming up? So, yeah, you just beat me to it.
I wanted to see. I gave you a minute. You missed it. But, yeah, we got to... And I do have one more issue I got to work out, and then I can go live on Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. on psn-radio.com. Splatter Chatter Radio.
Sounds good. Franklin, thank you for being part of the show here. And we look forward to getting the book in my hands. And everybody, please check it out on Amazon.com, Deadheads Evolution. Take care, everybody.